And the Ministerial Committee has presented a final report on the provision of health insurance for the retirees and elderly in Nigeria. The Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Ehanire, promised to commence the full implementation of the recommendations of the committee to ensure inclusion and care for the senior citizens of the country. Benedict Oko has more on this report.
Following the inauguration of the Ministerial Committee by President Muhammadu Buhari on November 2020 to improve the quality of care to the elderly through the provision of health insurance, the Minister of Health, Osage Ehanire, has received the final ministerial report. Recall that the committee had submitted a draft of the report in June to the minister. He had promised to implement their recommendations. Briefing newsmen in Abuja, Ehanire noted that the ministry would do its part in terms of implementation and inclusion of the elderly in the National Health Insurance Scheme.
The attention paid to the elderly in the National Health Insurance Authority mandate is in accordance with our vision to attain this universal health coverage that leaves no one behind. Certainly not the elderly and the retirees who have served their country and who have served God and man in their country. We also do not ignore those who have served after they are reached retirement and they are no more able to be as productive. Once again, I want you to note that this report is going to be very helpful, and I want you to rest assured that recommendations will be carefully studied and implemented. I'm particularly delighted at the options provided for health financing. We have set our targets of what we want to do. Again, to expand universal health coverage to all citizens, not leaving out the elderly. And also to continue to improve the quality of healthcare, not only in the quality of personnel, the quality of service available, but also that is provided respectfully and with dignity.
Some of the terms of reference include, amongst others, the development of national framework for the effective health insurance coverage of retirees and access of current health insurance.
Once more, we are here upon his request to have details of the report by the chairman and then path a way forward that will ensure sustainable support and integration within the bigger umbrella, that is the NHIA, to ensure delivery of basic and minimum healthcare package to elderly people in Nigeria.
The chairman of the committee drew attention to the key elements of the report and the principle of catering for the older ones in the society.
We have been able to establish that template. We've been able to anchor it on the principle of equity and justice. And we believe that if it is implemented, of course, it will require a lot of political will to be able to look at the various recommendations and to be able to factor such recommendation into program activities geared towards effective implementation. You see, the truth is that in committee assignment, one thing that is clear is that you will always expect recommendations. But in our own case, we have been able to look at the first and second order effect of every single recommendation that we have made to know whether there are some unintended consequences, to also foresee the challenges and difficulties. And we were able to factor that into what we call implementation strategy.
The elderly make up a significant portion of the population and are expected to contribute to nation building if properly cared for by the health sector and other stakeholders.